Yo, what is up YouTube? My name is Aaron and today I am going to be doing a PS4 versus Xbox One video, and this is going to be part of a two-part video. Today we're just going to be talking about the console itself without games, and in tomorrow's video we're going to be talking about Black Ops 3 specifically for the Xbox One versus PS4 debate. So first off, I'm going to go with console and aesthetics, and we're going to start this off with the PS4, and then I'll tell you about the Xbox One and back and forth. So you guys all understand whenever I'm doing it, but just know these are my opinions, and for you guys it could be totally different. Like, you know, some people like carpet, some people like hardwood floors. Just take this with a grain of salt, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. So PS4 for aesthetics and the console overall. I do like how it's a smaller form factor. It's lighter than the Xbox One. And this is the biggest thing. It does not have touch-sensitive buttons. Now, I know there's some PS4s with that, but I do have the newest version of the PS4, and it does not have touch-sensitive buttons, which makes this one a lot better, and I like it because I'm always hitting those buttons. So next up, it has a sleek look. It is very sleek. You know, it's kind of an eraser shape, and it just fits into places well. I like that. And the final good is there is no power brick, which is pretty cool because, you know, you don't have to find a place on the floor for it. It's not really in the way. You can get the cord down into small places. But here comes the negatives, and there's only 2 USB ports. That's kind of bad. I wish there was about 3 or possibly more. And because there's no power brick, you have a short power cable, which is honestly no good if you needed to run it down behind an entertainment center. You can't. It's not that long. Maybe you can order extra long cables. I would look into that if I needed a longer cable, but for right now, it does well on a desk, but not a lot of people have a desk. So let's go on to the Xbox One side of things. So first off, 3 USB ports, which is amazing. An HDMI out, which I do really like. I haven't really used it, but it's pretty good. Or an HDMI in, my bad. You have an HDMI in and an HDMI out, which is very, very cool. I like that. And the next thing is a long power cable because of a power brick. So kind of a negative in a sense, but it has a super long power cable, which I do like. So here comes the negatives. It is very big, touch sensitive buttons, and it's loud. So a lot of people are going to say, oh, the PS4 is loud, but like I said, I have the newer PS4, and they quiet it down just enough so you can't hear it that well. But yeah, Xbox One's really loud. The touch-sensitive buttons, I can't tell you how many times, not me personally, but a cable will touch those things, and it ejects a disc, or it turns it off or something, and it's very big. I know that's kind of subjective because who moves them around? You don't really care about the size, but it does take up a lot of desk real estate that could be used for other things. So let's move on to the controller. Again, PS4 side of things. Alright, so easy sync. What a great thing. It just syncs up so flawlessly. It's so good, unlike the Xbox One controller, which has a very difficult time. Next up, headset audio doesn't get lost when charging, and that goes from charging, unplugging, plugging it back in. Whenever you're talking, sometimes your audio chat or your party chat, game chat will cut out for a brief seconds, and I don't know why I said sometimes. Every single time I've done it, it's happened, and I know you guys have felt the same thing. Next up, built-in battery, which is very cool. Built-in plan charge, I don't have to pay $20 for it. A touchpad, and the touchpad has a button for the back button. Really do like that. I know it's not the game, but I do like the touchpad. I like how advanced this controller is. Next up is there's kind of some grip on the back, which is... it's pretty cool being stock and having some grip. You know, it doesn't help you as much as a Scuff would or the Xbox One Elite controller grip would, but it's something. Next up, it does have a speaker on it, which was kind of annoying at first, but I've turned it off completely actually. But I've heard if you're in a game, you know, the call outs and stuff come through that speaker, so that's kind of cool. It just, you know, it's one extra thing even if you don't use it. Next up, tactile buttons. All the buttons really just feel very tactile and just to the point. They're very nice. I like the share button. I haven't really used it that much, but I'm glad that they added it. The controller is very light. I do like that. And it's got motion controls, which is kind of cool. I mean, you can type with it, which is very hard. Would not recommend. But here comes the negatives. Just because it does have that built-in battery doesn't keep it away from a weak battery life. Usually I only get around 6 hours and then I need to plug in again, which isn't fun. I mean, it isn't too bad because I do have cables and always can plug it in. I usually always plug it in at night. Next up, the lack of real triggers. The trigger placement also is just, it's bad. If you're like me and you like laying your controller down on your lap and like stretching, you will shoot a gun, and I've shot the Wonder Weapon several times and didn't mean to. Next up, the bright blinding light on the back of the controller. Yes, that thing is a flashlight if you ever need it, so there you go. So next up, on the Xbox One side of things, the controller itself is very comfortable. I felt like it was made for my hands, and it works out very well. I love that controller. It's really, really good, and I kind of wish I could play the PS4 with it. Next up, real triggers. Yes, those triggers are very good on the Xbox One controller, and it vibrates in the triggers. Very cool, but I do turn vibration off for both systems. Next up, the rocker-style D-pad, so even if you put your thumb somewhere that's not on the button you want, you can kind of rock over to it, and everything's connected, and I like that a lot. Next up, big bumpers. Yes, you can throw your grenades and stuff, and it doesn't feel like you're just using your little pinky finger to touch it. Nice and big. Like I said, I felt like the controller was made for me. Next up, can be wireless or true wired. So a true wired controller takes its data through the cable and doesn't just charge through that cable, and that's kind of what the PS4 does. It's just a charge cable, a charge and sync cable, and it doesn't turn into a true wired controller when plugged in. Yes, Xbox One, it does turn into a very true zero latency controller when plugged in, and that is exactly why your chat audio cuts out. You've got to have sacrifices to have something like that. So next up, the negatives. Always loses audio whenever you plug or unplug your play and charge, and that is audio to the party, which sucks. And it only has batteries unless you buy the play and charge, which I would recommend. And the play and charge lasts for like 20, 30 hours of gameplay. It lasts forever. Next up, arguably the most important, is the onboard software. So then again, we're going to start out with the PS4. It's simple, you can just, where everything is. It's got little menus for everything. Everything works. Next up, communities. Communities is very cool. I do like communities. It could be a little bit better, but in total, communities is amazing, and I do like it a lot. So next up, we have the video editor. The video editor I haven't used yet, but I do understand for a lot of people, you need something like that. It's important for you guys to actually be able to edit videos on the PS4 and upload to YouTube. I'm sure there's a ton of YouTube channels, made just from the PS4 having that. So I'll give it some thumbs up. Next up, themes on the dashboard, or the main menu, whatever you want to call it, is very cool. I don't have any dynamic themes yet, but the Call of Duty dynamic themes do look amazing, and I just, I'd like to get some of those. Next up is rest mode. It's cool. It's like you get your little orange light, and then you press the button again, and then you're back on your game that you were, and it's almost completely turned off. So I do like that. It still downloads stuff. Very nice feature to have. I know the Xbox One has a hibernate mode, but we'll get to that. And finally, for the negatives, the old friend system. I hate that. It's like you friend me and it's still pending, and I have to friend you, and then you guys know. It's just a headache. The friends list in total is a headache, and it's no good at all. Next up is you can't invite non-friends to games. I don't understand that. Like if I go into your profile, there should be a little button that says invite to game, and I should be able to invite you to the game I'm playing, but they don't think like that. I don't know why. It's very broken, especially if you're going to be playing game battles. That means you have to actually add people, and they have to add you back, and then you have to delete them. Too much work. Come on, Sony, fix that. Next up, we're going to go to the onboard software on the Xbox side of things. You can set custom backgrounds with achievements. That's very cool. Like my custom background I have now, it's like the monkey from an achievement. You can invite non-friends to games. Best thing ever. The follow and following friends system is amazing. It's kind of like social media, but it's just so much better, and I think it allows more people to be able to play with you and see what you're doing and just enjoy you more as an Xbox player. So I really do like that. Next up, friends and parties are prioritized, as in on Sony it's more of like, I hate to say it, but it's more of like a solo type console. And then the Xbox One is more of a friends, and you play with your friends, and everyone has fun type of deal. So, you know, parties and friend system are very prioritized, and that's part of the reason why you can invite people. They have the follow and following friend system, and, you know, they're sharing clips. That's another positive. You can make clips, share it to your friends, be like, oh, look at this amazing train I ran on zombies, and they can see that, and you can instantly share that to them from the party, from anything. And next up, you have just an overall great user's experience on the Xbox One. It's very, very good in the fact that you have everything you need on the Windows 10 dashboard. It's very nice, very smooth, and I like it a lot. Next up, you do have your quick menu. That's whenever you double tap the Xbox button and you can look at your party from inside of the game. You don't have to completely be blind and still do stuff. Now, let's go to the negatives. It's laggy, and sometimes it stops working, like your messages, parties, and stuff like that. So those are some pretty bad negatives. So I just gave you guys a ton of information. You decide what you want to do with this. Whatever you guys think is better or best, tell me down below. I have your votes. Next video, like I said, we'll be comparing Black Ops 3, and then the final video will be the results. So let me know what you guys think down below. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this very, very long video. Let me know if you made it to the end. Tell me something. I don't know. Just say you made it to the end. Peace.